We're through the first quarter of the season, and I may owe Brad Holmes an apology. I said may. Hold your horses now. I'm not there yet, but I could be getting close. Can't admit when I'm wrong, although I don't think I am, because I've been on two things for the past couple of years. One, the Detroit Lions need somebody opposite Aiden Hutchinson, and I truly believe that sacks win games when it matters, okay? You might not need them during the regular season, but you need them in the postseason. Have to be able to get to the quarterback in the postseason. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles, who led the league in sacks a couple of years ago with 70, they didn't win the Super Bowl that year, but their defense was vaunted, right? And the Detroit Lions are making strides under new defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard. This is the first time that we've been that high. Now, there is a discrepancy, all right? There's an anomaly. I shouldn't say discrepancy. It's more of an anomaly. Sacking Lamar Jackson 7 times. Lamar Jackson 7 times. Now, I was watching some Baltimore Ravens content over the past week, because what I do is once we play somebody, I kind of stick around. Especially if we beat them. I stick around a little bit to see what kind of what their fan base is going through. What are they saying? And the Baltimore Raven fan base is out of control. Like, they're spiraling. You have Lamar Jackson going on IR or sideline for the next 2 to 3 weeks, maybe going on IR. You have, for the first time in a long time, the possibility of John Harbaugh getting replaced. So look for him to potentially be available this offseason. But that aside, I'd like to stay in tune with the people that we play. And the Detroit Lions Baltimore Ravens fans, a lot of them said that Lamar kind of stepped into a lot of those sacks and all this other stuff. And I can see that. I could see that. But the Detroit Lions, we're not going to take anything away from them. He was chased down on a lot of those sacks. And those sacks on Lamar, like the most elusive quarterback in the NFL, we sacked him a record-tying time. And that's no small feat. So you take those away, and the Detroit Lions have 7 sacks, okay? But that's not how the NFL works. We're going to include them because we have them. We sacked him. He was tackled behind the line of scrimmage 7 times. In the pocket, or however that works, 7 times, right? Sometimes he was out of pocket, but it still counts as a sack. So the Detroit Lions have 14 sacks on the season. And check this out. You see it from the banner below. They are 1 sack away. The Denver Broncos played last night, and heading into Monday Night Football, the Detroit Lions were the first leading the NFL in sacks. Now, if you've been following me any amount of time, you know how much I've been talking about not only sacks, but a pass rusher. And I'm going to tell you why that I'm not ready to apologize right now. First of all, it's week 5. We got a long way to go. Lions added 3 over the past game, sacking Joe Flacco 3 times. And guess who sacked him twice? Aiden Hutchinson. So my argument has always been the same 2 things. It's 1, somebody opposite Aiden to help out, and 2, bringing sacks in general, bringing the linebackers up, a lot of the times in years past, the secondary was responsible for a bunch of sacks. Brian Branch, Ife Melifonwu had 3 a couple of years ago, right, in 2023. That's a lot for a safety to have. Right? So my argument has been sacks in general and sacks from the D-line, specifically edge rusher position. That's why I'm not ready to apologize this yet. And I'm going to elaborate as we go further. I know y'all can't stand it, bro, but I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't ever get off my horse. I will listen. I will take 1 foot off and apologize. I will apologize from sitting on top of the horse. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to, I'm going to live and die by what I say, whether it's right or wrong. I'm not going to recant or retract anything. I'm just going to say, I'm sorry, apologize, or, if I'm right, I'm going to let you know I'm right, right? But, and I'm going to tell you why I say that as we keep going, because the Lions played phenomenal, did not sack Jordan Love once, and then from that point on, got Caleb Williams 4 times. They've had the last 3 games, they've had multiple sacks, more than 1. I almost said double digit. They got Caleb 4 times, they got Lamar 7, and they got Joe 3, okay? And 2, when we go into this, man, like, this is very intriguing because it's early in the season. We got 13 games to go, right? So this could start to change, and it could wind up being exactly what I predicted, or it could be completely different. And so my thing is, as we look, and let's take a look at we're going to look at the sack leaders, okay? So the sack leaders are the Denver Broncos, if you look to your right, the Detroit Lions, the LA Rams, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I haven't done a lot of research to know how many of these sacks have come from the D-line of these other teams. And of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers have TJ Watt. He is a linebacker designation, but he rushes the passer, right? Same thing with the Denver Broncos. They got a lot of linebackers but they got some defensive players on the D-line that get to the quarterback as well, but I haven't done that research. So specifically, we're going to look at the Detroit Lions. And what you're going to notice about the Detroit Lions, that they're second in sacks, which is a great feat. I'm not going to take that away from them. Again, it's early. We're going to look, and we're going to see how many of them have come from the D-line. And that has been my point. Along with sacks in general, it is the D-line, because when it matters, we're going to have to be able to get to the quarterback with the D-line. When you're playing the best team in the AFC within the Super Bowl, like imagine Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are very similar, but we saw what Josh Allen did to us last year. Now, granted, a lot of people were hurt. Derek Barnes was hurt. Davenport was out. He'll be back by the Super Bowl, right? If the Detroit Lions were to get that far. But my argument has always been the person opposite Aiden Hutchinson, because we're going to have to cover the middle of the field. We're not going to be able to bring the safeties. We're not going to be able to bring the linebackers against a guy like against a guy like Josh Allen. Okay, we play Patrick Mahomes week after next. It's going to be, I think, here's why I'm not going to apologize, because it's going to come down to, can the defensive line make a play? Okay, we saw, what's his name? The guy that you guys wanted. What is this guy's name? Spitty face. The guy that spit. Jalen Carter. We saw Jalen Carter. Literally, Jalen Carter was the difference between the Rams winning the game, the playoff game against the Eagles last year, or the Eagles ultimately going to the NFC Championship game, right? Because that's what, because they went to go face the Washington Commanders. The D-line changed the whole thing. Matthew Stafford is down there inside the red zone, got a man. Jalen Carter disrupted that whole play. That's how you win games. So that's why I'm not going to apologize just yet, but I will apologize if the need be. I know I come off as harsh and abrasive. Part of that is the internet swag. You got it. You have to have it. You got it, but you have to have it as well, because there's a lot of people's opinions. I hear a lot of people in the comment section. I actually read my comment section. I'm talked about everywhere. You got to have a type of swag, but I have no problem saying I'm wrong if that happens. Okay. So the Lions, after 4 games, are second in sacks when it comes to, and I have been arguing and yelling about sacks forever. So in one side, we're getting sacks, but are they coming from the D-line? So out of our 14 sacks that we currently have, we actually have 2 Detroit Lions in the top 10 in getting to the quarterback. You have Aiden Hutchinson, who is, if we count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We literally, and I didn't even count this. I just kind of eyeballed it. We have Aiden Hutchinson with 4. No surprise. He leads the Detroit Lions in the NFL. He is an elite pass rusher. Then we have at number 10, Al-Qadim Muhammad. Now, it's funny because a lot of people said that Harold Landry was a garbage time sacker. And right now, he's sitting at number 11. Okay. Calais Old Man Campbell still doing the thing. That's crazy. He might be the oldest, like a dude, almost 40. Like if we were to pick him up, or when he was available and we was talking about like trading for the guy, or when he was released, if he was on his team, even with his age, you would not hear me complain an absolute peep, because this guy is still doing it at a high level at almost 40 years old. He's 39 years old, 38, 39, somewhere around there. So again, what do you see here, right? My concern is the opposite Hutch. Right now, it's Muhammad, and I can't take anything away from him. He is doing his thing. Now, he was hampered by a knee injury in the game against the Cleveland Browns. And could that be, like, can the Detroit Lions sustain this? Is Al-Qadim Muhammad, who's been putting guys on the ground, by the way. Like, he's been running people over. He is seizing his opportunity, and he is making the most of it. It's unfortunate he got hurt. I would love to see a healthy, like, Al-Qadim, like, out there with Hutch. Like, the way that these guys, Hutch is starting to get his groove back, and Muhammad is getting a swag as well. So I would love to see that. You also have Ahmad Hassanin that has yet to come back, but the Detroit Lions are talking about bringing him back. And you have Marcus Davenport, who, he's still on the team. You guys know how I feel about him, but he's still on the team, and he'll be back probably after the bye week. So we got a couple guys. We got some guys that can step up. And in my opinion, right now, I still think Davenport has to earn his spot back. But right now, you got to give it to Muhammad. So, but here's why I'm not ready to apologize just yet, right? Because although I believe sacks win games, and yes, I have been arguing about sacks, and the Detroit Lions have done just that. We already discussed the 7 against Lamar Jackson, right? That's like sacking Josh Allen 7 times. Like, that is a tough feat. But I want you to imagine playing Josh Allen and having to bring linebackers, not being able to get there with your front 4. I think that inevitably you're going to have to rely on your front 4. And now we got to rely even more. And this is going to be a great test for the Detroit Lions, because now we got to rely on them even more with the injury to DJ Reed, who's not yet placed on IR, but he's a great candidate for IR. He's going to miss at least the next we probably won't see him to at least after the bye week. And then Terrion's going to miss a game, but Terrion's been terrible. He's been terrible. He leads the NFL in pass interference calls. I can't remember a game. Like, it seems like I hear his name more, it's worse. I hear his name about bad things than about good things, right? And we brought out a chart about Terrion Arnold is probably the worst starting cornerback in the NFL, like on paper, between the interference calls, between the passer rating, between the yards allowed. I brought in the chart. I don't have it queued up right now. Maybe I need to put it in my software. He's probably one of the worst if not the worst starting cornerback in the National Football League. So with those 2 guys being hurt, we're going to have to lean on our front 4 even more. Again, picture a scenario, because we saw it last year, although we were hurt. Picture a scenario that we're going against the Buffalo Bills, because I'm telling you what, they won it this year. They won it this year. They still got to get through Mahomes, and Mahomes has been Josh Allen's kryptonite. But they won it this year. And you see what they did to us last year. Now, we are getting Aleem McNeil back, and we're not going to see these guys into the Super Bowl. But imagine, and same thing, and I will argue this until I don't have a breath. If we had an actual pass rusher opposite Aiden, not a Romeo Okwara, if we had a capable pass rusher, I think we go to our first Super Bowl. I think even if we squeak by the 49ers, I think we go to our first Super Bowl. And I think we win it, because the Chiefs were super vulnerable that year. They wind up winning. They won that year. They won the Super Bowl that year. But I think if they go against us, we beat them. I do, because I think they beat the Eagles, right? So that's why I'm not quite yet ready to apologize. 1, it's early. 2, we have to, we got to see, can we sustain it, right? Which is the same thing as it being early. But when it's all said and done, we got to rely on the D line. That's what we got to rely. And that has been my entire argument, is the D line getting to the quarterback. Because at the end of the day, when you're playing in the playoffs and you're playing a guy like Matthew Stafford, you're playing a guy like Josh Allen, because it's not going to be Baltimore. It's going to be, they might not even make the playoffs, real talk. And now Lamar's gone. They got to rely on Cooper Rush. He's capable of winning games. But it's going to, I feel like this might be Buffalo's year. It might be Buffalo's, especially if they can keep Patrick Mahomes out of the playoffs or have Patrick come to Buffalo. I think he did it before, and he still won. So I think Buffalo is going. Now, again, if you disagree with me, or you're like, here we go again, picture Josh Allen in our current defense and let me know what you think. Now, we also did not have Aiden Hutchinson last year as well. He was out. So I'm not there yet, but I will give credit where credit is due, that these guys are getting to the quarterback. The bulk of those are coming from one game, and that's what you hear from me. You just hear, yes, it's there. It's there. I'm not going to take anything away, but we have to sustain this. And we got when it matters, because it's going to come down to a few plays. And we know what Hutch can do. I told y'all that Hutch was going to be feeling some type of way. He didn't lead the team in sacks. And don't forget, he's trying to get paid. He also has not been paid. Who, by the way, who was freaking out when he was down, especially when the camera zoomed in. He had the same look that he had when he broke his leg. And I was done. I was done. All these thoughts started running through my head. So let me know what you think. Congratulations to the Detroit Lions. This is something that I didn't know if I would ever say, that the Detroit Lions are top 5 in sacks, let alone top 2, especially with the current roster. And you guys know me, man. I got to keep it real. They're doing their thing 100%, giving credit. But can we get there outside of Hutch? There's Hutch, right? And there is Al-Quadin. Outside of that, nobody else on the D-line has not one interior defensive lineman has a sack. Not a one. So Aleem McNeil is on his way back, and he's going to have something to say. I wonder how they're going to work that in. They're going to probably, Tyleek's going to still get the start. Aleem is ready to go. Dan Campbell was on 97.1 The Ticket today and said he is itching to get back out there. So it's going to be, interesting. They're looking at maybe him after the bye week as well, but we got to start his clock. So again, I know you guys are going to come for me in the comment section. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I'm used to it. I'm a numbers guy, right? And the numbers say that we are second in sacks. The numbers say that the Lions they say one thing, right? But then they also say another. And that other thing is the defensive line. Right now it's Mohamed. Can it continue to be Mohamed? Can Mohamed or Davenport when he returns, or Ahmed Hassani, can those guys be the guy that will help get the D-line going as a whole, not just rely on one man off that D-line to do it? That's my whole point, and we'll see. Because when we're playing the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl, we got to be able to, we cannot bring Alex Anzalone and Derek Barnes and Josh Allen, the middle of the field. The man has enough talent that if he gets out of that if you bring 6-7 people, could you imagine what he's going to do? That's my point. All right. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. I'm going to get back on my horse now.